Hi everyone, I'm Xiao Bai from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you a bare earphone case, pajama style. This earphone case consists of the main part, arms, facial features, and decorations. Let's start by learning how to crochet the main part. It's divided into two legs, the body, the head, and the cover. First, crochet the two legs separately. After completing them, join them together, and continue crocheting upwards for the body and head. Finally, crochet the cover. Let's start with the legs. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds, follow the foundation chain. Before we begin, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The stitch instructions column shows what stitch techniques used when crocheting that specific round, as well as the increasing or decreasing situations. The total stitches column shows the total number of stitches for that round after completion. This toy uses X stitch single crochet throughout. We will refer to it simply as single crochet moving forward. The stitch techniques used include CH chain stitch, X single crochet, W single crochet 3-in-1, V single crochet increase and slip stitch. Next, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take out the corresponding yarn. Here, for convenience, to make it clearer for everyone, the sample swatch is demonstrated using cotton yarn. Random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Before starting to crochet, learn the proper posture for crocheting first. Wrap the yarn tail once around the left little finger. Thread it through between the middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Hold the corresponding sized crochet hook in your right hand. The hook moves between these 2 points. The cast on is 6ch. This indicates that the method for casting on is the foundation chain. Cast on 6 stitches. Start with making a slip knot. Place the hook below the yarn. Wrap the yarn around counterclockwise. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Put your hook above the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through the loop. The starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Slightly tighten. Crochet chain stitch next. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is completed. Do this 5 more times. 1, 2, 3. That's it, the cast on is now done. Next, we'll work on the first round. Dow 2 means you start crocheting from the second chain from the hook. Use the crochet hook to pick up the top half loop of the second chain from the hook. It's this single strand of yarn here. The number before the X indicates how many single crochets you need to make. Here, it means you will work 4 single crochets into the top loop of the chain. Insert the hook into the top strand of the chain stitch. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. That completes 1 X stitch single crochet. We'll refer to it simply as a single crochet from now on. There are 2 strands of yarn, forming a V shape at the right top. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Pick up these 2 strands and place a marker to mark it. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or paperclip instead. Continue with the second single crochet. Pick up the top loop of the adjacent chain stitch. Place the hook above the yarn. Pull through. Yarn over. And draw through the 2 loops on the hook. The second single crochet is now complete. Continue to complete the remaining 2 single crochets. 1, 2. After completing them, pick up the top loop of the last chain stitch. Crochet single crochets 3 in 1. That is, crochet 3 single crochets into the same stitch. One, 2, 3. Then rotate the fabric. Pick up the other side of the foundation chain, and go back to crochet. First, pick up the remaining 2 strands from the adjacent chain stitch. This is also the insertion position for the stitch on this side. Make 1 single crochet. You can place the starting tail above the crochet hook here. Hide it as you crochet. Continue at the position of the adjacent chain stitch on the left side. Work single crochets. One, 2. When you reach the final chain stitch position, make 1 single crochet increase, that is, crochet 2 single crochets in this position. One, 2. The single crochet increase is completed. At the first stitch, which is also the stitch marker position, work 1 slip stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through in once all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch complete. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. When crocheting in practice, you need to work a slip stitch at the end of each round. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch and needs to be tightened. Crocheting for the first round is completed. You can see that the texture on the right side is clear. The texture on the wrong side is blurry. We will use the side with the clearer texture as the right side. The side with the blurry texture is the wrong side. For the following crocheting, keep the right side facing yourself. Now start crocheting for the second round. First, make 1 chain as a turning chain. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. In actual crocheting in rounds, you need to make a turning chain at the start of each round. The turning chain does not count as a stitch. Make 1 single crochet increase in the first stitch of the previous round. Place a marker on the first stitch. Continue picking up stitches, and work 3 single crochets. You can see the single crochet forms a cross like this. On top, there's a raised diagonal line. The two strands above the diagonal line are the stitch. Next is 3V. The number before the V indicates how many single crochet increases to make in a row. Here it means to make 3 single crochet increases. After completing that, work 3 single crochets one by one. Finally, on the remaining 2 stitches, continuously work single crochet increases. After completing, slip stitch to the first stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over. And draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in once. Slip stitch is complete. Tighten. This completes the second round of crocheting. Continue with the third round. Start with 1 chain as the turning chain. Let me emphasize this again. At the start of each round, you need to make a turning chain. I won't repeat this for the following rounds. Crochet evenly with 18 single crochets. This means working single crochets into each stitch from the previous round in sequence. Total of 18 stitches. For convenience in locating the slip stitch position later, mark the first stitch of each round. Crocheting evenly will cause the fabric to naturally curl. Adjust the fabric so that the right side faces out. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The third round is now complete. Next, we'll work on the fourth round. Start by crocheting 8 single crochets in sequence. After completing, make 1 single crochet increase. Then continue with 9 single crochets. Lastly, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. Make a chain stitch to secure. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. The yarn tail can be dealt with later. The fourth round is now complete. At the same time, one leg is also finished. Let's take a look. A raised texture on the right side indicates one round. Starting from the foundation chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far, we have crocheted 4 rounds. Everyone can follow the same method, refer to the chart and complete the other leg. After finishing the second leg, do not break the yarn. Next, we will crochet the body. Start by joining the 2 legs. Then continue crocheting in rounds upward. You will need to change colors while crocheting. The new stitch techniques used include a single crochet decrease. Please watch the demonstration. Continuing from the leg without breaking the yarn. Crochet round 5. Start with 2 chain stitches. Take the other leg. In this last round, on the last stitch, which is the stitch to the right of the stitch marker, crochet 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The joining of both legs is now complete. Starting from this stitch, crochet 9 single crochets. Place a stitch marker on the first single crochet to mark it. Weave in the yarn tail as you go. After completing, make 1 single crochet increase. Nine single crochets. Next, we reach the joining position. Pick up 1 strand from the top loop of the chain at the joining point. Crochet 2 single crochets correspondingly. You can place a stitch marker on the remaining 2 strands of the chain for reference. This makes it more convenient to find the spot later. Now we move to the next leg. Starting from the first stitch, which is the marked stitch with the stitch marker, pick up and crochet 9 single crochets in sequence. One single crochet increase. Nine single crochets. Next, we reach the joining position again. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain at the joining point. That is, the stitch marker position. Correspondingly make 2 single crochets. After completing it, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position. The 5th round of crocheting is finished. After finishing this round, the 2 legs may be a little slanted. This is a normal occurrence. Next, we will crochet the 6th round. Refer to the chart. Keep crocheting until there is 1 stitch left in this round. When you reach the corresponding position, since the next round requires a color change, the last stitch here needs to be an incomplete single crochet first. Insert the hook and draw the yarn through. This is the incomplete single crochet. Then take the new yarn. The sample swatch has random colors. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Draw the yarn through. To complete this single crochet, then join the new yarn with a slip stitch. Tighten it. And adjust the yarn tail slightly. Reserve a 5 centimeter tail of the original yarn and cut it off. Place both yarn tails behind the fabric piece. And that completes the color change. At the same time, the 6th round is also completed. Continue crocheting the 7th round while referring to the chart with the new yarn. As you crochet, wrap the yarn tail into the stitches. Finally, join with a slip stitch on the first single crochet. The 7th round is now complete. Next, crochet the 8th round. Work single crochets one by one. Keep crocheting until there is 1 stitch left in this round. When you reach the corresponding position, the next round requires a color change. Here, I'll demonstrate the color changing method again. First, work an incomplete single crochet. Then take the new yarn. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Draw the yarn through. Complete this single crochet. Then join with a slip stitch using the new yarn. Adjust slightly. Leave a 5 centimeter tail on the original yarn and cut it off. Place both yarn tails behind the fabric piece. The color change is now complete. Whenever you need to switch colors later, you can follow this method for changing colors. Up to this point, round 8 is completed. From the next 9th round to the 16th round in the chart, the crocheting method is relatively simple. The stitches used have been demonstrated in detail earlier. The meaning of the stitch instructions is similar to before. You just need to follow the stitch order in the chart, and repeat crocheting the corresponding number of times. Here, let me explain. In the chart are 1 and even 50x, means starting from round 11, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Every round has 50 stitches. Continue crocheting until the end of round 16. For any similar format that appears later, the meaning will be similar to this. Please refer to the chart, and complete these rounds on your own. Next, we will crochet round 17. Start with 11 single crochets. Here, I've already completed the sample for this part. Then, the table shows an A, which indicates a single crochet decrease. Let's take a look at it first. The stitch has 2 yarn loops like this. The one closer to the right side is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. First, insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch. Then, insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch on the left. There will be 3 loops on your hook. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Pass through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over. Pull through once. You've completed the single crochet decrease. This method of picking up only the front loops for decreasing is called an invisible decrease. When you crochet using this technique, the gaps between stitches are smaller. The fabric overall looks more delicate. Next, work 23 single crochets evenly. After completing, crochet one single crochet decrease. First, insert your hook into the front loop of the first stitch, then, insert it into the front loop of the left stitch. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Place the hook above the yarn. Draw the yarn through. Pass through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over, and draw through in once. Complete the single crochet decrease. Next, work single crochets evenly, one by one. Finally, join with a slip stitch on the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. Round 17 is now completed. For rounds 18 to 25, there are no new stitch techniques or methods used. Everyone can refer to the chart. Complete these rounds on your own. Pay attention, when crocheting the last stitch of round 25, you need to change colors. Move on to round 26. Start with 12 single crochets. Here, I've already completed the sample. Afterward, the chart shows BLO. This means working into the back loop only. Continue by picking up the back loop of each stitch. Crochet 24 single crochets evenly. After completing, normally pick up stitches and work 10 single crochets. Finally, join with a slip stitch on the first single crochet stitch. The crocheting for round 26 is now complete. You can take a look. This is the effect created by crocheting into the back loop only. You can place stitch markers on the remaining half stitches at the beginning and end. For rounds 27 to 29, there are no new stitches or techniques used. Please refer to the chart and complete the crocheting. Here, I've already finished the swatch. Finally, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters and fasten off. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. Trim the excess yarn tails. This completes the crocheting for the body section. Next, we will crochet the head. Continue crocheting in rounds upward from the body. Leave an opening while crocheting. After completing the crocheting, sew the end closed. The new technique used is K-skipping stitches. Please watch the demonstration. Now let's crochet round 30. Take the corresponding color yarn. The sample here is for convenience in watching. Colors are random. Find the last round of the body. Position of the 10th stitch. Join the yarn. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Draw through. Adjust slightly. Then start crocheting the corresponding number of single crochets. Pay attention, the first stitch should be crocheted at the joining position. After completing it, crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches. Skip the next stitches and don't crochet them. Slip stitch into the first stitch. The 30th round is completed. Next, crochet the 31st round. Refer to the chart first. Crochet the corresponding stitch pattern. Keep crocheting until just before the chain space position. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up one strand from the top of the chain. Crochet single crochets evenly into each stitch. After completing it, slip stitch into the first stitch. The 31st round is now completed. For the next 32nd round, first pick up the stitches and crochet the corresponding number of single crochets as usual. Then pick up the back loops and crochet single crochets evenly into each stitch. For the remaining rounds, no new stitch techniques or methods are used. Just follow the stitch order in the chart to crochet. After completing the final round, leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. You can remove the stitch marker here. Press the head flat symmetrically on both sides. Use the whip stitch method to sew. Pick up the stitches one by one in sequence. Sew and close the opening. After completing the sewing, secure the yarn tail with a few extra stitches on the wrong side. Trim any excess yarn tail. That completes the head. Use the side with the opening as the back of the main part. The other side will be the front. Next, crochet the cover. On the remaining half stitches of the head, work back and forth in rows. When crocheting, leave space for the buttonhole. Please see the demonstration. Let's start with row 1. Place the wrong side of the main part facing you. Feet on top. Head at the bottom. Locate the remaining half stitches from the 31st round of the head. Join the yarn at the rightmost half stitch. Crochet 1 chain to begin. Start from the joining position. Work single crochets into each stitch. Place a marker on the first stitch. Place another marker on the last stitch. Row 1 is completed. Now let's work on row 2. Crochet 1 chain to begin. Turn means to turn over the fabric. Place the wrong side facing you. Rotate counterclockwise to turn it over. Pick up stitches and work single crochets into each one. When crocheting on the wrong side, the stitch will be located at the top left. Row 2 is completed. The method for rows 3 and 4 is the same as row 2. Please finish them on your own. Next, we will work on row 5. Crochet 1 chain to start. Turn the piece over. Skip the first stitch without working it. Work 5 single crochets starting from the second stitch. After completing, crochet 4 chains. Skip next 4 stitches without working them. Starting from the 5th stitch, work 4 single crochets. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Row 5 is now completed. This chain space is the buttonhole position. Finally, let's work on row 6. First, crochet 1 chain as the turning chain. Turn the piece over. Skip 1 stitch. Starting from the second stitch, work 4 single crochets. At the chain space, pick up 1 strand from the top of the chains. Work 4 single crochets evenly into each corresponding stitch. After completing, crochet 3 single crochets. Skip 1 stitch and leave it unworked. Crochet 1 single crochet into the last stitch. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Break the yarn. Remove the stitch marker. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. Once it's securely woven, cut off the excess tail. Row 6 is now completed. Up to this point, the cover has been completely crocheted. At the same time, the explanation of the main part is also completed. Next, let's crochet the arms. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds, follow the foundation chain. When crocheting, you need to switch colors and attach magnetic clasp. The magnetic clasp looks like these two parts. The side with the protrusion is the male part. The side with the dent is the female part. Place the male part on top. Attach it to the front of the left arm. The female part goes on the bottom. Attach it to the back of the right arm. Here, the left and right are distinguished based on the earphone case, facing you on the front side. Next, I will demonstrate using the left arm as an example. First, refer to the chart. Crochet the first 6 rounds until there is 1 stitch left. Here, my swatch is already completed. Now attach the male part. Flatten the fabric piece along the starting chain. Take the male part. On the left side of the slip stitch, between the 4th and 5th rounds, at roughly the middle position, insert the male part into the fabric piece. Once the position fits properly, place it over the 2 prongs on the back of the male part. Then use a tool to assist. And flatten the prongs. This completes the installation of the male part. After completing the installation, continue to refer to the chart and complete the remaining part of the arm. You will need to switch colors while crocheting. After finishing the crocheting, leave a tail of about 20 centimeters and cut the yarn. This completes the left arm. Next, make the right arm. The crochet method is similar to that of the left arm. Start by referring to the chart. Crochet the first 6 rounds until there is 1 stitch left. Then press the fabric piece flat along the foundation chain. On the left side of the slip stitch, between the 4th and 5th rounds, at approximately the middle position, install the female part. The installation method is similar to that of the male part. Please complete the installation on your own. Afterward, continue crocheting the remaining part of the arm. Once completed, leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters for sewing. Up to this point, the explanation for the right arm is complete. Finally, sew the arms together. Start with sewing the left arm. You can remove the stitch markers. Thread the reserved yarn tail into the sewing needle. Take the main part. Place the main part with the right side facing you. Position the arm so that the side with slip stitch marks faces down. Align it so that the top matches the 25th round of the bodice side seam. Use the whip stitch method for sewing. Pick up the last round of stitches on the arm and sew it to the corresponding position on the body. Here, I'll demonstrate the arm sewing with a sample swatch. That's it, now the left arm is sewn. Everyone can use the same method to complete the right arm. Pay attention while sewing. Make sure the side with slip stitches faces down. Place the female part on the backside. Ensure that the positions of both arms are symmetrical. You can sew it together on your own to complete it. Up to this point, the explanation of the arms is finished. Next, we will make and attach the facial features. It consists of the ears, nose, eyes, and blush. First, crochet the ears. They are divided into the outer ear and the inner ear. Crochet them first, then proceed with attaching them. Start by crocheting the outer ear. Use the magic ring method to begin. Crochet in rounds. Please watch the demonstration. Let's start with casting on. The cast on is Mr. This means the cast on method is the adjustable magic ring. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Hold the crochet hook with your right hand. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around. Form a loop on the hook. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Make sure the loop is large. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. The magic ring is now complete. Next, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets into the magic ring loop. Place a stitch marker on the first single crochet to mark it. After completing the crocheting, close the magic ring. Pull the yarn tail tight directly. Then slip stitch at the stitch marker position. Tighten it. The first round of crocheting is now complete. Next, we will crochet the second round. Our 2 is XV times 4. The parentheses here indicate a group. Times number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Start by crocheting 1 single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet increase. That completes one group, XV. Let me demonstrate another group. First, crochet 1 single crochet. Then make 1 single crochet increase. This is the second group. For this round, you need to repeat 4 groups. Continue and complete the remaining 2 groups. After finishing, slip stitch at the marker position. The second round is now complete. For the following rounds, 3rd to 4th, no new stitches or techniques are used. You can simply refer to the chart and crochet. After completing the crocheting, leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters, then break the yarn. That completes one ear. Next, proceed with attaching it. Take the reserved yarn tail and thread it into a sewing needle. Press the ear flat along the slip stitch positions. Take the main part. Position the ear with the slip stitch side facing down. Align the top of the ear with the second to last round of the head. Then count 3 rounds downward. Sew to match the curve of the head and arm. Use a sewing method similar to how the arms were attached. Use the whip stitch technique for sewing. Pick up the stitches of the ear and sew them to the roughly corresponding position on the head. Please complete the sewing on your own. Make sure the 2 ears are symmetrical. That concludes the explanation for the outer ear. Next, we will crochet the inner ear. Start with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds. After completing the crocheting, attach it. Next, please watch as I demonstrate the detailed crocheting method. Start with a magic ring. Then crochet single crochets into the ring. After completing, close the magic ring. There's no need to join with a slip stitch here. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters. Break the yarn. Next, start tucking in the stitches. Pull the starting yarn tail to the right side of the piece, which is the side with clearer texture. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a darning needle. Insert the needle from the back to the front through the first single crochet stitch. Then bring it from front back to the chain braid, where the tail is located. Finish securing the stitch. Trim the beginning and ending yarn tails, leaving just a little bit. Apply some glue on the right side. Attach it to the middle of the outer ear, slightly lower in position. This completes one inner ear, both crocheting and attaching. Everyone can follow the same method to complete the other one and attach it as well. Up to this point, the ears have been fully explained. Next, we will crochet the nose. It includes the nose fabric piece, the embroidery thread for the nose, and the nose tip. First, crochet the nose piece. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds, follow the foundation chain. Everyone, follow the chart to crochet it properly. After finishing, no need for a slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Proceed with weaving in the stitches. Here, I've already completed the sample. The yarn tails can be left unmanaged for now. Join the yarn to start embroidering the nose thread. Cut a piece of black yarn about 20 centimeters long. Pull out 2 small strands from it. Insert the sewing needle. Start on the wrong side of the nose piece. Embroider a center line in the middle position. Exit the needle from the middle position of the final round. Leave a small yarn tail. Then insert the needle into the middle position of the first round below. This completes the center line. Next, embroider a V-shaped segment below the center line. V-shaped spaces with one stitch in between. Exit through the middle of the stitch next to the center one. Then insert it at the vertical line position. Exit the needle through the middle of this adjacent stitch. Insert it once more at the vertical line position. Tie off the beginning and ending yarn tails. Trim any excess tails. Take the nose tip. Apply glue. Attach the nose tip horizontally above the vertical line of the nose, at the centered position. Finally, apply glue on the right side of the nose piece. Align the top edge of the piece with the 8th round, from the bottom of the main part. Glue it onto the relatively centered position of the main part. That's how you make the nose. Next, let's attach the eyes. Take the eyes. Apply glue on them. Attach them to the sides of the nose. Align the top with the 7th round from the bottom. Glue them vertically like this. Up to this point, the eyes are attached and completed. Finally, let's make the blush. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds, follow the foundation chain. After crocheting is finished, tuck the beginning and ending yarn tails to the right side of the fabric. The method is similar to that of the nose piece. Everyone refer to the chart and complete it. Then apply glue on the right side. Attach it to the sides of the nose. at a proper position below the eyes, about 1 stitch apart from the nose. Align the top with the nose piece. This completes the blush. Now we have finished explaining all the facial features. Next, let's make the decorations. Consists of the collar, the hat, decorative buttons and closure button. The new stitch technique used here is T-half double crochet, F double crochet. Please watch the demonstration. First, we will crochet the collar. Place the main part with the right side facing you. Legs on top. Head at the bottom. Find the remaining half stitches from round 25. Here, we will crochet all the remaining half stitches from this round. Start by joining the yarn at the half stitch on the far right. This is the marked stitch position. Crochet 1 chain stitch to start. Then, from the next stitch, crochet 2 single crochets. One half double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, draw the yarn through, slightly enlarge the loop, yarn over and draw through again. The half double crochet is complete. Then crochet 5 double crochets, yarn over, insert the hook, draw the yarn through, yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. 1 double crochet is complete. Then crochet another double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops in once. Another double crochet is complete. Continue with 3 more double crochets. One, 2, 3. After completing, hook 1 half double crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Slightly enlarge the loop. Yarn over and pull through all loops in once. The half double crochet is complete. Follow with 1 single crochet, 2 slip stitches, Slip stitches don't need to be tightened. 1 single crochet. 1/2 double crochet. 5 double crochets. 1/2 double crochet. 2 single crochets. 'End with 1 slip stitch. Slightly tighten. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Tuck the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. That completes the collar. Next, we'll crochet the hat. Start with the magic ring method, crochet in rounds. Everyone, refer to the chart to finish crocheting it. After completing the crocheting, sew it onto the corresponding position on the head, then attach a pom-pom to the top of the hat. Next, I will demonstrate how to sew the hat together. First, thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Press the fabric piece flat along the side of the slip stitch. Sew it to the sewing position on the head. Slightly angled to the left side should be about 1 stitch apart from the ear. You can refer to the finished product for positioning, or adjust according to your personal preference. After adjusting the position, sew along the back half. Note that the front part does not need to be sewn. That's it, the hat is now sewn together. Finally, take out the pom-pom. Apply some glue on it. Stick it onto the first round of the hat. Now the hat is complete. Next, sew on the decorative buttons. There are 2 buttons in total. Sew them in the middle position below the collar. First, refer to the chart and pick up the corresponding color yarn. Cut a 50 cm long piece of yarn. Pull out one small strand. Insert it into a thin needle. First, at a position 4 rounds apart below the collar. Sew on one button. Leave a little yarn tail. Place the buttonhole horizontally and sew it. That's it, one button is now sewn. Move down 3 rounds. And sew another one. Finally, tie a knot with the yarn inside the main part and secure it. Cut off any excess tails. This completes the installation of the decorative buttons. Lastly, reserve the buttonhole position at the bag opening. Sew on the closure button. Pay attention to matching up the positions. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just make sure it's secure. That's it, the closure button is now sewn. At the same time, the entire earphone case has been explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.